All right, well, thank everybody. Thank you for joining us. This is our Go Reentry is only 10 months old. It seems like we've been around a lot longer than that. So this is our first presentation using this format. So appreciate your patience as we go. I just wanted us to watch a quick video before we get started. So we'll watch the video and then we'll come back on and we'll go through our slides and our presentation. I think that video kind of sets the context to reentry and the road that people leaving incarceration face. So want to just talk to you a little bit about Go Reentry, just so you understand where we're coming from and what we're all about. I think there are a few things that make us unique, and there are a lot of great reentry programs. I see Kathy on here. Centerpiece is awesome, and we fully support Centerpiece and all the work they do. And there's other groups, the community conferencing thing that you're going to hear about at the next session. All those are good, and we support them, and we're excited to be partner with them. But there are a few things that make us unique, and I just want to tell you those things just so you can better understand why Go Reentry and why we're doing this. The first thing that makes us unique is we're formally incarcerated driven. What that means is Krista and I have both been incarcerated before. So we understand what it's like to have the doors shut on you and get put in to incarceration, and we both understand what it's like to walk away. I'll introduce our board to you in just a minute, but 3 of our 13 board members are formerly incarcerated, and that's not by accident, that's by design. I think the word that I want to use is relevant. We want to make sure the things that we do and the programs that we offer are relevant, like that they're rubber meets the road kind of programs. And so that makes us unique, and we're proud of that. And yeah, the second thing that makes us unique is we're faith-based. And I want to tell you what that means and what that does not mean. That does not mean you have to believe what I believe for us to help you. That would be silly. That would be downright ridiculous for me to tell you you have to believe just as Mark Fraley believes in order for us to help you. We mentioned faith-based because our name, in a second, I'm just going to run through why we call ourselves Go Reentry. It has a faith-based background, and I want you to know that real quick. So we'll help anybody. So our chairman of our board is involved. He's the assistant dean at one of the schools at Penn State, and diversity is his specialty, and that's his job. And we've talked several times about how we avoid people thinking that we want to say the right things. We want to make sure everybody knows that they're included, and we'll help you no matter what. If you want to talk sex or ethnicity or income or how you identify, I think that the best thing for me to say is no matter who you are, we love you, we care about you, and we're here to help you, no questions asked. So we're faith-based. You just need to know that we're not here to really preach at you or try to get you to change your mind. You just need to know where we're coming from. Go, a lot of people say, why'd you pick a name Go Reentry? And I want to just real quickly tell you why we picked Go. There are a few stories in the Bible. Each story addresses a different audience. And so let me tell you about the first story. It's found in John, and you guys, whether you're Christians or not, you probably have heard this story. The story is when Jesus was teaching in the temple courts. And we all know when Jesus was on earth, everybody, he just drew crowds. Thousands of people came to hear him at different times. But Jesus is in the temple court, and they say it's full, and he's teaching. He's in the middle of teaching, and these experts in the law, I won't make any lawyer jokes or anything like that, but these experts in the law bring a lady before Jesus. And they tell Jesus, they say, listen, Jesus, this lady was caught in the act of adultery. In the law of Moses, the law says we're supposed to stone her to death. What do you say? And Jesus just ignored their question. It says he actually started playing in the dirt. And as he played in the dirt, they kept asking him, Jesus, what do we do with this lady caught in the act of adultery? What do you say we should do? Finally, after being pestered, he stops and he looks at him and says, fine, stone her to death. Do what you want with her. But he says the one condition is the person that throws the first stone has to be perfect. They can't ever have made a mistake. Their thoughts of all the times had to have been pure. If they've lied, they're disqualified. If they've thought an ill thought about another person, the first person that throws a stone has to be perfect. And if there's one of those here, pick up stones and stone her to death. And if you know the story, nobody picked up a stone and stoned her, not a person. Eventually, the accusers left. It doesn't say anything about the crowd. If I was one of the ones that Jesus was teaching to, I think I'd have tried to stay around and watch the show. Like, how's this all going to end? So at the end of this, after all these people leave, and again, we don't know what the crowd's like, Jesus looks at the lady and he says, where are your accusers? And Jesus says, or the lady says, they're not here. And then Jesus says, well, if your accusers aren't here, I'm not going to judge you. But here's where the first go comes from. Jesus tells this lady, go and sin no more. I think that's the first go, that's the first reentry challenge anywhere. He tells this lady, go, don't make any more mistakes. I'd like to think about that lady for a minute. The story doesn't really go into detail. First, I'd like to see on Cop show this act of when they caught this lady in the act of adultery. Like, how did they do that? Did they kick in the door? Did they have her on video? How did they do that? I'd like to know that. I'd like to know, I try to picture her standing there in front of this whole temple court. I don't know how many people there, but it was a large crowd. She's standing there and she's being accused of adultery. She was caught in it, so she's guilty. I wonder if she was wearing clothes. I wonder if these experts in the law allowed her to get dressed. I wonder if her hair was all messed up. I wonder about her crying. I wonder about her face and her expressions. I can only imagine it wasn't, I mean, they didn't give her time to put on makeup and change her outfit, I'm sure. So there she stands in judgment in front of all these people. And Jesus tells her he's not going to condemn her, but to go and sin no more. I wonder where she had dinner that night. She's just been called out for a capital offense back in that day, right? I'm sure when she walked down the street, people were pointing at her and whispering, if not right out, screaming at her, throwing things at her. I don't know about any of that. But I wonder where she ate dinner that night. I wonder where she slept. If she was married, I'm sure her husband didn't welcome her back. I wonder if her siblings or her parents allowed her to go home. I wonder if she had any friends. It doesn't say any of that in the story. I think the story's just focused on our first audience, those that have been caught, those that judgment's been pronounced on. So I've been there. I know what it's like to stand before a judge and him pronounce judgment. I know what it's like to stand there and be embarrassed and ashamed and want to crawl under the table to get away from everybody. So I imagine she's feeling the same things. So our first audience of Go Reentry are people who've been caught. people in a sense where Jesus says, go and don't make any more mistakes. Don't do this again. Go and sin no more. So that's the first audience go addresses. The second audience is in Luke, where again, Jesus is talking to a large group of people, and here come these pesky experts in law again. And one of these lawyers asked Jesus, he says, tell us the greatest commandment in all the scripture. And Jesus says, well, that's easy. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. You've probably all heard that. And then he says, the second commandment's just like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. So this lawyer asks another question. He said, okay, so tell me who my neighbor is. And Jesus goes on, everybody remember the story of the Good Samaritan? Real quickly, a Jewish man starts down a road. It's the road has a history. If I were a parent, I'd tell my daughter, I'd tell my son not to take that road, especially after dark, because it's dangerous. But this Jewish man goes down this road, and he's attacked and he's beaten. The Bible says he's left half dead. The Bible says he's naked, and they took everything he owned. So you know how the story goes. A Jewish pastor, church person, walks down the road and notices this other Jewish guy laying along the road, half dead, naked, bloody, bruised, no possessions. And I just want to point out, this guy could have belonged to this guy's synagogue, right? The guy that's beaten up laying along the road could have belonged to the pastor's church. They were the same ethnicity. They had the same heritage. They had the same background. But when this religious guy sees the guy beaten up along the road for some reasons we could talk about later, but he decides to ignore the guy who went to the other side of the road and he walked by, didn't lift a hand to help this guy that's beaten. Another Jewish guy, and let me remind you again, same heritage, same background, same ethnicity, same religious belief, sees the guy beaten along the road and he too ignores him. But the third guy comes down the road, and this guy's a Samaritan. You want to talk about the division that we're having in our culture right now, racially and otherwise? The division between Jews and Samaritans in that day was 10 times worse than what we're facing now in our society. The Jews hated, despised the Samaritan people. They considered animals more important than the Samaritan people. So this Samaritan guy walking down the road, if anybody had a reason to pass on the other side, it was the Samaritan guy. The Samaritan knew before he went to help him that the Jewish guy would never do that for him. Like if the roles were reversed, the Samaritan guy would be ignored and everybody would just keep passing by. But in this story, the Samaritan guy goes over to the man beaten. He pours oil on his wounds. He puts him on his donkey and he takes him to the town. And when he gets to the town, he takes him to the inn and he tells the innkeeper, whatever it takes, I want you to take care of this guy till he's all better. Basically what he did was he left his visa with the innkeeper. Whatever expense, you take care of it. So I'm getting to reentry because it all applies. Jesus asked the lawyer, well, who was the neighbor? And the lawyer says, well, it was the Samaritan. And then go reentry. Jesus tells the Samaritan, go and do likewise, right? So that's the second group of people go reentry talks about. That's us. That's people who have jobs, people who are educated, people who aren't beaten up laying along the road. We're told that we're supposed to go and do likewise. We're supposed to take care of the person or their people that are beaten up, laying along the road that need help. So that's our background for Go Reentry. Two groups of people. People who have been caught and need a second chance, and people who are in a position to offer that second chance and offer that help. That's where we find that's what's behind the Go and Go Reentry. You can go to the next slide, Jonathan. So who we are. I told you my name's Mark Fraley. I'm the executive director. Chris is our reentry specialist. We're just 10 months old. And you can find us. We were incorporated in June of 2020, and we're a 501c3. And you could find us goreentry.com or our Facebook page. I wanted to just real briefly tell you who supports us, our board. I said 3 of the people on the slide there are formerly incarcerated. We have a superintendent, retired superintendent for Department of Corrections. We have a retired person who was the director of Dauphin County Probation and Parole. We have business owners. We have a former agent in charge of the Attorney General's Drug Task Force on our board. We have a medical doctor. We have a good group supporting us. Just think that's important to share so everybody knows who helps drive the bus and who else makes decisions as we go forward. Our goal and our focus is to reach the 6 counties around us. Right now, because we're new and we're just getting our legs under us, our focus is in Center County. Although we've reached already in our target area, we've helped people in Huntington and in Clearfield and in Cambria counties. We've reached people as far as St. Mary's and in Everett. So, okay, we're ready to go on. Krista, would you share some?
Yeah, of course. So our mission at Go Reentry is to create safer and healthier communities by empowering formerly incarcerated individuals to return to society with hope, a clear path forward, and the resources they need to be successful. In order to do this, we partner with churches and the community to provide the resources and support to the formerly incarcerated people and their families. I don't want to forget, we try to provide a lot of support to people's families while they're incarcerated and just help them with some of the challenges they face with their loved one being gone from the family. Jonathan, okay, thank you. Right now, we are working with over 30 people, directly or indirectly. We have some that we work with every day. We employ them through our lawn care business that we have. We are helping people with housing, employment. Those two, I say together. We've formed some partnerships with landlords and employers as well. And we've been helping people get jobs or get a home as long as they contract with us and agree to stay in contact and submit to random drug testing. It kind of allows us to be a liaison and an extra layer of protection for the employer or the landlord, because they're taking a chance by allowing these people to have a chance themselves. So we want everyone to feel comfortable, but we want people to have the chance that they need. Sometimes that's all they need, is just someone to take a step out in faith and give them a chance. So we provide support and accountability. We take a large group of women, it's all women right now, to church every week and their families. And then after that, we've been meeting with everyone, and we go out to lunch, or we just get together and talk about any of the challenges that they're facing, just be there and be friends to each other. And that's been really helpful for a lot of people. We're hoping to get a regular separate support group meeting going. There's a great necessity for it. So hopefully in the very near future, we will have that. We provide transportation to people if they need rides to appointments, if they need rides to work, if, anything that they might need help with as far as transportation. Because one of the big challenges is that a lot of people come out of jail and they don't have a license. So, but they're expected to, some of the girls that we work with have to go to counseling 3 and 4 times a week. So that's really, really hard to do. You got to get to work, you got to get to your appointments, you got to get to grocery stores, you got to do all these things, and you don't have a way to do it. So we provide transportation when we can for that. We've had a couple of crisis calls where, well, it was a pretty dire situation, and we've gone out to into the middle of whatever was happening, and just talked to the person, got them somewhere safe. Just the one situation, we got the girl connected with resources that she desperately needed, got her into some treatment, and then we just continue to stay in touch with those people after, obviously, to try to just continue providing support and make sure that they're taking the steps they need to. I already mentioned about contracting with those we're helping with housing and employment. Jonathan, if you want to go ahead. Um, the the county jail, whenever they release you, they call you, they tell you to pack your stuff up, and they throw it all in a large clear garbage bag and send you out the door. And Mark was picking someone up from the jail, and it really, really bothered him to see her walk out with a big garbage bag full of her stuff. So Go Reentry has bought a bunch of canvas bags to donate to the prison, and that has our logo on it. And then we're going to put, a little pamphlet in the bag, and whenever they leave, they'll have something a little bit that'll make them feel a little bit more, I don't know, I guess confident in themselves as they walk out, but also a way for us to connect with them again. We've been providing support to families who have a loved one incarcerated. I did mention that before. There's in particular a woman that we've been helping who, over the holidays, she needed some help with her bills. And then I guess that kind of goes into the last thing we have bullet pointed here. She also needed help with Christmas gifts. So at Christmas and Easter, we did an outreach program where we put a sign up inside the jail and gave the inmates an opportunity to sign their children up to receive Christmas gifts or Easter gifts. And they also got to put a note with their own handwriting, whatever they wanted for their child. And we attached that. If you can see in the one in the lower right in the picture there's one of the tags. So it was actually attached to the gift that we gave them. And that was a really awesome thing. Christmas time, we reached 29 children, and Easter, we reached 50 children. And then bridge repair, we have vaguely and briefly helped people rebuild some relationships that they need to in order to, find a housing plan or just make things better for whenever they return into the community. On the next slide, we are going to talk about Mark and I have been going into the jail, well, not into the jail because everything's Zoom right now, but we go to a Zoom meeting with the jail. It's 4 sessions once a week. And there we talk about all kinds of issues that people are going to face whenever they return to the community. And one of those things is rebuilding relationships, because it's very, very important. The sad reality of recidivism is that 7 out of 10 people return back to jail within 3 years of being released from jail. So during these hour-and-a-half sessions, we talk about the importance of having a plan for whenever you return. We give them a list of, I guess, requirements or recommendations from the probation officers. We actually got in contact with the probation department and had them tell us specifically what it is that people can do to get along better with them, because if you look at the statistics, most of the people inside the county jail are probably there for a probation violation. So that's like one of the hardest things for people to do. And they gave us a whole lot of recommendations for people. We also give them a few personality tests at the beginning of the course and have them fill it out. And it just helps them to start thinking about what career would best fit them, and just start thinking about maybe something else that they might want to do whenever they're released from jail. We do goal set. We talk about goal setting. We talk about the importance of having a solid support network. We have a few in the last session. We have, what was it last time? Three employers joined us, and they talk about what they look for in an interview, how you should dress, how you should speak, how you should address the topic of your gaps in employment and your criminal history. Um, the fact that you should, work your hardest no matter what the job is. And then we also have testimonials of people who have successfully returned. And so that all being said, it just kind of gives everyone a little bit of hope, but also starts to get the wheels turning on, what they need to do to plan to be released and be successful into the community. And we've had a pretty good response from it. It seems like people are very interested, and it gives them hope. It's something positive. They say that there's not a lot of positive reinforcement in there, I guess you would say. So they just seem very excited and hopeful at the end of our classes.
Thanks, Krista. That's in a nutshell what we do. I will say we went to speak at a church in Cambria County last week. Saturday night before we left, Krista had a call at 11 o'clock at night, somebody needing her help, asking her what to do. Again, she got a call at 9 o'clock on our way over to where we were speaking. Last night at 11 o'clock, I had a call. People are reaching out to us. There seems to be a real need for the kind of services and the support that we're offering. We've found ourselves working alongside State College Borough Police Department. We've found ourselves in the emergency room with somebody we were assisting and helping. So we've been involved in a lot, and we're only 10 months old, so it's exciting to see what the future holds. So could we ask any questions or anything? We'll take the presentation down. If you want to click your picture so we can see you, we'd be glad to talk to you. If you have suggestions or questions, we'd be happy to try to answer them. And we want to be better. We really want to be the best that we can be. Like, isn't that right? That's with like everybody. You want Kelsey, she wants to be the best Kelsey she can be, right? Or Brian, he wants to be the best Brian he can. We want to be the best Go Reentry that we can be. So if you have suggestions or comments, we'd really be interested in hearing them. And so, ask away. Please participate. Go ahead, Liz.
Hi, great presentation. Thank you very much, and congratulations on success so far. It's impressive. I was just curious why it's women that you've been able to contact and work with first. Just do you have any ideas why that's happening, or it's just an interesting thing?
It was not by design at all. It was not. In fact, when Go Reentry first started, Krista was a member of our board. And the goal was for her to eventually be part of the staff and the hands on the ground kind of thing. But when we saw so many women asking for help, I realized that Krista needed to be involved right now. And so that's why she resigned and came to work with us. I'm trying to figure out why. That's a good question. So our first group in the jail were women, and they were really receptive. The discussions we had, they were very appreciative. So I thought, well, it might just be that. But then the second group we had were men. I actually had tears in my eyes when I said goodbye to these guys when they walked out of the class for the last time. My original inkling was women are so much more just in their personality and the way they're made up. I don't know. I don't know the answer to your question. I don't have a clue, but we're hoping probably 4 or 5 men at this point, but the majority definitely are the women. And I think Krista has a lot to do with that, because through connections and things, people know Krista, and so I think she's part of the answer, but I'm not sure I'm not sure how to answer your question. Brian, please.
I've got a question. I'm not used to Zoom on my iPad, so I can't see the normal way, but I can see myself. Mark, Krista, I really appreciate the information. It's so exciting. It's exciting to see you guys are doing such a variety of activities. You know, that's one thing that's really exciting. You're helping in so many different ways. I had a question about the lawn care business. How specifically do you use that? It sounds to me like that's really awesome, because obviously employment is a big thing. So you have a vehicle to say, hey, you know, we could help you with the job because we have a business. Can you just talk a little bit more about how that kind of fits into all this?
So the business is really separate. So when I was released 18 years ago, who's going to hire a police chief that's been to jail before? Or what church is going to ask a former pastor who's been to jail to come and preach for them? You know? So I had to really figure out how I was going to make it. Back 18 years ago, Napa would not hire me to drive auto parts. So I started a handyman lawn care kind of business and have been doing it for 18 years. For the past several years, only hire people who have been incarcerated before, because that's where my heart's at. If you know me, you know that's what so the two are different. The two are completely different, but they're kind of they mesh, and we're really trying to separate them more. But right now we have 5 people working for us that are part of Go Reentry. So it kind of works together, but it gets confusing when you talk about when you talk to the accountant, or when you talk to our board about separating what is Go Reentry and what is his workmanship.
Okay.
We're getting better at splitting those up. But right before our Zoom call tonight, we got a call from a guy who has a machine shop right over in Port Matilda. He said, I need 2 people to start work full-time with benefits, pays good to start. You need to send some people our way.
Wow.
So, and then one of the employers we had was the district manager of Burger King. One of the guys in our class, Reentry Strategies, what he wants to do when he gets out is go to work at Burger King in Tyrone. And so the district manager said, all you have to do is tell him to mention Go Reentry and Mark and Krista, and he's got a job. So
that's awesome.
We're making those kind of connections, and it's that's the fun part. Just seeing people just being able to do it and get to the next step.
That's really awesome, Mark. Really awesome.
Thank you. Marie, please. So let me tell you about Marie. Does everybody know Marie? Seriously, so the guy on our board, his name's Terry Davis. He's Mr. Reentry. In the state, everybody knows Terry Davis. He has a great reputation. Marie's that same kind of person. People know, you say Marie Hamilton said, they'll give you their car, they'll give you their bank account, they'll give you their house. Marie is very influential, and it's just been an honor getting to know her and work with her. So Marie, go ahead.
Well, yes, I've had quite a journey. But I was thinking, Mark, as you were giving your introduction and shared your favorite scripture background, I wanted to say to you, congratulations on all your accomplishments and the energy that you have. And I can't imagine what all it takes to go out there and meet all those needs, but you seem to have the tools and the knowledge. But the one thing I wanted to say about your introduction was that I have seen many, many, many reentry programs come and go. But the reentry programs and the restorative justice programs that I see that last, and many of them don't very long, the ones that last truly are based on Christian principles. You have to have, that has to be there. And when it is, the doors seem to open, and I am just feeling very good about your I would call it your pivot point. Congratulations.
Thank you, Marie. That's like the ultimate compliment from someone as Marie's. Thank you. Just not to belabor the faith-based part of it, but on a given Sunday, we're taking 8, 9, 10 women to church with their kids. And so I push, again, I'm a former pastor, but I push church attendance, not just because I think church is important and faith is important, but when people go to church, they meet landlords and they meet employers and they meet people who want to help. Or there, a couple of our people have needed help, and our church is just giving them money, giving them gift cards. And we've been able to partner right now with like 6 churches. I don't want to name, well, I won't forget anybody. The State College Mennonite Church, the State College Evangelical Lutheran Church, Evangelical Free Church, the Calvary Church, Access Church, Christian Missionary Alliance Church in Nanoglow. And there are other churches that want us to talk to them. So it's kind of like God commanded us to do this, right? He said, whatever you do for the least of these, you do for me. He told us we have to, and we're basically giving people a way to do that, right? I mean, before, like, prison ministry is different. You just can't walk in the door and do prison ministry, right? We don't do that anymore. We're not allowed. But if we can give you a way to do prison ministry, and you're just doing what God wants us to do, and that's, yeah, enough said. Any more questions? Brian.
I had another question. I can't see everybody else, so I hope I'm not cutting anybody off. Can you share more about the transportation needs? You mentioned counseling. I'm assuming there might be doctors of women's. And is there a way that people can sign up to help with that? Just talk more about that transportation. That seems like a very easy way for people to help and a very obvious need. So I'd just like to hear more about it.
You want to take that, Krista?
Well, sure. I guess the best way to help, honestly, is to get in touch with Mark, because people are calling him, and I don't have a driver's license personally. So right now, so he has to help me with that need right now. But what else? Like I said, it's counseling, it's work, it's doctor's appointments, it's going to the grocery store. It might be someone needs to go pick up their kids and take them somewhere else. Am I forgetting anything obvious?
It's in the middle of the day too.
Yeah, so we have to stop work sometimes and go, help someone out, especially the girls that are like in the drug court program. Right now, they're not drug testing anyone, but they have to drug test between 3 and 5 times a week. So if they call this number at 5 a.m., their PO says you have to get here by 10 or you're going to jail, and that's 3 to 5 times a week. And most of them don't have a driver's license. So that burden is on someone else. And, it goes back to that support thing. A lot of these people have burnt a lot of bridges. So their family isn't so willing to just stop what they're doing and help them. So sometimes we are stopping what we're doing to help them.
Wow.
So we are looking for volunteers. We have 2 right now that I can call and say, what are you doing in 30 minutes? Because a lot of the times the calls come late too. But something else that I've learned in the 10 months that we've been doing this, these people, that came out wrong. The people we're helping go to a ton of meetings every week. Three of the ladies we're helping have to attend 3 3-hour counseling sessions each week from 4 to 7 or 4 to 7, 3 nights of the week. They have to be on this call. Then on top of that, they have to go to 99 meetings in 99 days for NA or AA. And then they have to go see their probation officer. And then they have to go get drug tested. And then they have to go to get the Vivitrol shot. And it's just like, they set them up to fail almost if you don't have a driver's license. If you don't have a driver's license, you're done. You have to have somebody that'll take you where you need to go.
That's helpful. Thank you.
Liz?
Yeah, I had just another quick question. So it looks like your focus is Center County and the neighboring counties, because I think a lot of the neighboring counties send their the females come to Center County, CCCF, right? So what's the success? Is it going to be having branched units of Go Reentry across Pennsylvania? Would that be success, or are you just going to really stay in Central PA?
So I see other organizations like us in Harrisburg, in Philadelphia, in Pittsburgh, in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. I don't see any organizations like Centerpiece or us in like Blair County, Huntington County, Clearfield County, Cambria County, Mifflin. I don't see any. But if you go to the bigger metropolitan areas, there are groups like us, even faith-based groups like us. But here in those 6 counties, there's hardly nothing. So I think if we can provide services to those 6 counties, I think we'll be successful. Thank you, Janet.
And thank you, Kelsey.
Thank you so much. I think we're going to get cut off shortly. Jonathan, would you join our call? Oh, he is. I want to introduce one of our board members. Jonathan Schrock is responsible for our webpage, our Facebook page. He's a scholar. He's a theologian. If you have a Bible question, you ask him and he'll give you the answer, and he won't have to look for it because he knows it. We wouldn't be where we are today without Jonathan. And so I just want to say thank you, Jonathan, for helping us make all this happen. You're awesome. Okay. No other questions. Thank you, each one of you, for joining us.